yesterday. I paused from YouTube again because I was really unsure if I want to continue this thing, and I keep saying this at the beginning of every fucking video because I want to get to a point where I don't think about it anymore, where I don't question anymore will I do YouTube or not. But as I said in one video, probably I will never make a decision. And it's just a thing that I do sometimes and I do not sometimes. And it probably should become a thing that I do. Sorry, there are children next to my apartment because I'm living next to a kindergarten. We always heard children in the background. But I guess this child is really screaming aggressively. I guess YouTube is just a fun thing to do, and that's it. But I have moments where I really feel like I'm getting more serious into this, and I kind of want to make a certain kind of channel, and I imagine what if I put a lot of more effort into this. I mean, the most effort I put into is my art, because I want to become, or I am already a comic artist. But YouTube is still something I want to do on the side, you know? And yeah, I have moments where I think like, what if I keep doing this? Like, will be thankful for that in the future? Like, if I should grow a bigger community, what doesn't happen at the moment because I don't grow subscribers at the moment, but I keep doing it, probably the worst way you can do it on YouTube. I think there are probably better ways to do it, but I don't want to put my mind into that because it will take away my creative energy, so I'm just keep doing videos like that. I'm going the extra hard way, but I don't care. It's the easiest way for me personally. But I forgot what I wanted to say. I work on YouTube, and sometimes I think, what if I have a bigger community and I can communicate with people? Like, I get a lot of comments in the future, and I can, like, I know when I upload something and people react to it, I can have a exchange with people online. People are waiting for me, you know? People are interested into my manga too, you know? Like, wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be a kind of fun thing that you can rely on? And you can be proud of yourself that you came that way? So, I think about that sometimes, that sometimes I'm really uninterested about it, how I already mentioned in the latest video. It's actually good that I remember certain stuff I said in the latest video. But then I have days where I think like, this is kind of a cool thing, you know? And I stopped overthinking about it so much. I'm being more spontaneous now. And one thing I wanted to tell you is something I'm learning right now. Is if you really want to become happy, you have to become your most favorite person. Because I think a lot of people are unhappy because I think our generation is the kind of generation, I even read that compared to other generations, we have a lot of less relationships. I'm crying, but I'm not really sad. So it's ironic because we have dating apps, you know, we can connect with so many more people on earth, but people are just not able to commit anymore because of that. Because you have so many options. Or maybe our generation is just a shitty generation and a lot of people seem to be selfish and nobody knows what actual love means, you know? I think Gen Z Gen Z doesn't want to grow up. I heard that. Gen Z is the generation that doesn't want to grow up, apparently. That is just not adult. Nobody has their shit together. So we are not attracting each other because we all have in our minds what we may want in love or we don't. But nobody in our generation really is capable. Most people are not capable of being this kind of standard because nobody really has their shit together. This is how it feels like. So everybody is their own bubble, isolated, and nobody is really committing into a relationship. Nobody's ready for children. There are people who are in relationships. There are people who get children, but even those parents sometimes seem really unresponsible, you know? So, if you're not in a relationship, it may help you already knowing that you're not the only one, you know, that a lot of people in our generation, I'm 28 now, and there are a lot of 28 people, even in my environment, who don't have relationships. It's kind of a normal thing, you know? There are a lot of people, man and woman, who will end up alone, probably, you know? Maybe that will change when we get older. Maybe we will change our standards when we get older. Maybe it is kind of the poison of youth in a way. I don't know. I just will know that in the future. So I don't really think about it. But I had over the last weeks moments where I felt shit because I was so fucking scared of the thought that I would be alone my whole life. And that my whole life would be static. And I wouldn't go around a family, I wouldn't have children. You know, I would be alone forever. And now I don't care anymore. Because one of the reasons why I felt so shit about it, I felt like that because I felt like it is my own fault. Like it is my responsibility to change that. By looking now at my life, I realized that I'm doing the best I can get out of my life. And there's nothing I do wrong. Because judging someone because they don't get on dating apps is the most stupidest thing ever. Because you shouldn't force someone to get on a really toxic app. And dating apps are fucking toxic. Dating apps are not even meant to bring you together with someone. They just want you to be as long on the app as possible. So you get someone that you get that this app gets a lot of cash, can show you a lot of ads, you know. Dating apps that don't give a fuck about you bringing you together with someone, you know. And I don't want to waste my time on actively searching for someone because I don't know, I look at our parent generation. They were able to get to know someone without the dating apps. My grandparents get to know each other pretty young without any dating app. So it's not like you have to go on a dating app to make it possible, you know? People in my environment met each other without a dating app. So, and I'm just a bigger fan of not searching for it actively, but instead of just living your life, creating the best life that you can right now without any person, and becoming the best version of yourself. And then if life wants that, the right person will come into your life. You can attract certain people, and yes, you can have an influence on it. I mean, think about it like that. It already starts the job you're choosing. Like if you're working really hard, for example, I'm trying to work not that hard right now, but I'm trying to get better in programming. if I'm able to be in a certain job place, maybe I find nice people there, maybe I get new friends. So I already work on myself to get on a certain place, and on that place I meet certain people. But I just do what gives me meaning in my life, you know? This is why I never would, like, sometimes people tell you, like, oh, go out, like, do something to meet people. But I think you should just do that if you are this kind of person who is interested in that, or if you are interested in having a new hobby that you can meet people around. But I'm not that kind of person because I already have enough stuff in my life to do that I have to focus on. I don't have time for another hobby, and I don't want to because it wouldn't mean anything to me. And I mean, I don't want to start a new hobby just for finding people. I want to do a hobby because I want to do the hobby and then get to know like-minded people. And I think I'm already doing this in a kind of different way by drawing. You know, I mean, drawing, this is a problem. Drawing is a job that makes you really fucking alone. But I post that online. And I'm pretty sure in the future I can meet people I can be friends with, like-minded people that are on the same level as me, that like my art and see what I create and like me for the stuff I create. And maybe I can find the love of my life through that. But coming back to that topic, today was on a level where I was like, I don't even care if I find the love of my life. And I saw that even there was a dating expert I was following. He's a really good one. There are a lot of scams out there, but there are also like good dating experts that are kind of treating you like a human being and they don't just want to get money out of you. And this dating expert, he said, he was really honest and he gives really honest advice, you know, and he said, and that was really interesting because it was coming from a dating expert. And you know, dating experts, they can sell themselves in a way to you that they're like, if you watch my videos, then you will get the right one, you know? But he's not doing that. And he was saying that even if you don't find the love of your life, you still lived a meaningful life. Even if you never met someone, there is nothing wrong with you. And that's true. And I think, like, people think when they don't met love, they're missing on something out. But I don't think that is actually true. Of course, we all know there's something really special about being with someone, close to someone that you know that only this person likes you. And there's something so meaningful about having children, you know? But you have two choices: either be with someone that you really like, that you were the lucky one and you found someone you like, or you don't, or you end up being with someone that you don't love and you have children and then you have to divorce and your whole life is just really fucking chaotic because now you can be happy about your children, but you now have to take care of them all alone, you know? So there are a lot of people who are in unhappy relationships because they just want to be in a relationship so badly. So I wouldn't say love is an illusion, but you can live a totally happy, meaningful life without having it. And I think being single, okay, I wouldn't say that being single is automatically better than being with the right person. Because as I said, when you have the right partner, you can have children. And there's something so crazy about the fact that you can have children. But even parents tell me, like, having children is a choice, and it takes a lot of time, and it's not fun and games at all, you know? It can be fulfilling, but it's hard, you know? But it's still something that is like nothing else. Being pregnant is like something like nothing else. You know, I mean, even our hormones change when we are pregnant as a woman, you know. So I totally understand the concept that love is something that is kind of meaningful, that is like nothing else in our lives. And because we know that this is something that is like nothing else, when we don't have it, we think like we're missing out on something. And I don't think that's actually true. Because if you don't happen to have it, there's not a lot of, like, when you get the chance to have it, then you can be happy about it and enjoy it and get into the moment of experiencing it. And then you can be thankful for it. But if you don't have it, I don't think you will be really an unhappy person, because you don't even experience the whole thing at first. You can imagine it in your head. You can be like, yeah, this is how it kind of feels. And we kind of, I think even if you don't never were in a relationship, you still are able to understand the concept of love. But I still think, and this is I think the problem, and that makes it so fucking hard for being single, because even if you never will be in love, you still understand what love means as a single person, kind of, you know. But I still think I think when you are in the moment, you feel you have much more going on there than when you just think about it and you don't have it and you could spend your time with something else. So I don't think you really lose something when you don't have it. It's something that is better than nothing else in your life. But if it doesn't happen, there is nothing wrong. And the most important stuff is, it's not the case for everyone, but in my case, I think a lot of people don't, I think I think it's not really that we need that so badly because we don't have it and we want to be happy. I think a lot of reasons why people get so unhappy that they're not in a relationship is because they feel like everybody has it, which is not true. Most people on my age are not in relationships. I think there are even more people not being in a relationship than being in a relationship for both genders, you know? That's one thing. But the other thing is, I think a lot of people feel like they're missing out on something. So it's like feeling like I'm not normal if I don't have a relationship. There's something wrong with me when I'm single. And I think that most people, and this is something I realized too, when you don't like yourself and when you're not having fun with yourself being alone and being your favorite person that you enjoy, that you like, that you are proud of, then you feel like you need someone in your life that makes you happy. And I can tell you, and this is, I'm not the only one saying this, dating experts are saying this, people who are in relationships saying this, that when you are wanting someone else to make yourself happy, that's the worst reason to get into a relationship. You shouldn't just get into a relationship that someone else can make you happy and entertain you. I think the people who have probably the best experiences with love are the ones that already were happy, that like themselves. Because if you like yourself, you can offer something to somebody else. You will approach somebody else totally different. You see this other person. If you don't need someone else, you are much more curious about the other person. Because you don't give them the feeling that they have to give you something. And you take that from them, you know? But you can't give something back. You know, you are a totally another person. And that means your life experiences with the other person in the relationship will be totally different when you are when you are just happy with yourself, you know? And I think everybody should become their most favorite person, because even if you end up in a relationship, that sounds a little bit weird, but understand that maybe one day you will be old and one of you dies and the other person still lives like 20 years after. That means you still may have to live a long time alone. My grandpa is already dead for a long time, so she has to live with herself alone. So we don't just live to get old, of course, but to survive life in a good way, you have to be your favorite person, and you have to get on a level where you don't need someone else, that your life becomes interesting. And I seriously didn't believe that at first. I was thinking that, and I was like, it's not possible for me to just be happy with myself and just be feeling good with myself and being proud of myself and feeling like I like myself. It's really fun for me to be a person that is like, I think I'm really funny. I'm a really confident person. I like myself. I like my ideas. But I think I'm kind of getting at that level where I have so much time with myself. And yes, of course, I want to meet new people. I want to make new friends, you know? But today I'm kind of at that level, and I hope that stays like that, where I just feel good with myself, that I don't need anybody else. And I can tell you, how you perceive other people when you are on that level makes a whole nother life difference. Because first, you stop caring so much what other people think. And you just have a really clear mind. You stand in life. You have your shit together. But you also experience other people that are inspirational to you, or that you like to talk to, or I don't know, you like your friends, you like your family. You watch a certain YouTuber that you find inspiring, whatever it might be. You experience those people in a totally another way, You are much more curious about them, but there's nothing wrong in your life when they're not there, And I can tell you, it feels so awesome to feel like you're the biggest motherfucker in the world, and you are just feeling 100% fulfilled by being yourself. And if you can find the other half, no, I don't think it should be like, I have to find my other half. I think it should be more like, I find another complete person that is their full circle, and then you become, I don't know, something that fits together perfectly. This is a totally another thing. And if you are able to do that, you just be happy with yourself, then you don't give a fuck about this whole we all need to be in relationships. I think especially our generation is making this such a big deal. Everybody, and I think a lot of people feel like they're shit and they're degenerated or everything, because they feel they're a failure because they didn't find. I think a lot of people just feel like they are failures because they weren't able to find the right person. They blame it on themselves. And I think for that reason, a lot of people feel like they need someone to actually feel they reach something in life. It's because a lot of people want to feel like they reach something in life by finding someone else. And this is the worst thing. This is not how you shouldn't see love as a goal you should reach to actually be at a certain level. No. You can reach everything already without anybody else. Of course, you can't become a dad or become a mom without having a life partner, but there is so much meaningful that you can make in life without needing anyone else, that you should approach love in a totally another way. I don't mean you shouldn't deny love. I don't mean you shouldn't be with someone. If you find the right person, then go for it. But approach it when you don't see it as a goal, or when you don't see it like as something that you need to be to reach a certain level as a human being. That's not fucking true. That's not fucking true, you know? Because then you will get into a relationship with a totally another... You will experience love, I'm 100% sure. If you detach from it, you experience love in a totally another way. And a lot of people say, you can still experience love, you know, but it's not like love has to hurt. You know, when you are feeling good with yourself and you really like someone, yourself, and then you meet someone and you have a crush on them, but this person rejects you because they're not interested in you, you can there are people I met who are like this. They have a crush on people, but they feel so good with themselves that if they can't get a specific person, they just accept it and they keep going in life, and that's it. They're just like, whatever, goodbye. And with those people, it happens sometimes that those people come back because, I mean, this is like the whole dating game in general, right? If you detach, then chances are much higher that this person comes back, but this one person never asked for it. They never asked for it. They just become such a stable person, and this is something that I can tell you, and that is the truth. If you don't care about love anymore, and you don't give a fuck about if you get it in life or not, you become much more attractive to people. And if you are on this level where you don't give a fuck if you end up in a relationship or not, you have your shit in dating so much more together, and chances are much higher that you actually won't get love. And it's so ironic because then you get love, but you don't need it. And then it's awesome because then it's like getting like the full cake. You just don't get like one piece of cake, you get like the full cake, but you never ask for it. You know? That's cool. And this is from someone who never thought that would happen. But I can tell you, you can become your most favorite person. You can become your person that you like so much that you don't worry about, because it's something really unhealthy about, I need someone else that I can like to feel good in life. That's not true. You can like yourself so much that another person would just be an awesome add-up, but you don't need it in your life. And you can get to that level, you know, where you're just happy with yourself. You're just your favorite kind of person. You can get to that level. I never thought that would happen. And now I'm reading, you know, I'm this kind of person who talks really confident about this, you know. But I don't want to talk anymore. It's so hard to talk right now. But I can tell you, it can happen that in the next videos, I will do a video where I feel like depressed because I'm not in a relationship. I think it's a process. And you shouldn't think it happens over just one day. And maybe I will have this moment and then it's still hard for me and I'm feeling human again and I feel like, but I want to be in a relationship. I don't know. But right now I feel really confident with that. I just don't know if I can manage to be like this all the time. I really hope so. And I'm trying to get on that level. But I don't know if I will ever be like that. Maybe it will stay like that, maybe not. So please understand, maybe I will not be able to that. And it's really hard for me, whatever. One other thing I wanted to say. So I'm like my favorite kind of person. Right? I like myself, I'm happy with myself. I'm just having a good time with myself. I'm just curious about life. You know why I am on this level? It was a process. It was, and this is something you have to do. you have to find a place where you did everything possible to meet the right partner, but in a way that it makes yourself happy. And this is where I am. I do everything I can to be on the right place. I feel like I give enough. Like there's nothing like it's not my own fault that I don't have a right life partner right now, you know? Because sometimes people, I mean, some people they are really obese or like they are be really mean to other people. You know, some people they kind of are responsible for not finding anyone else because they don't give their 100%. Because this is the thing. And this is why this whole dating advice makes sense when people tell you get out there. Like you have to get into places to find people. But no dating expert I saw told me I have to get on dating apps, you know? They don't really say that. They see like get out of there. Or like find a hobby. Do something that makes you feel good about yourself, that gives you meaning in life. Because then you become a certain kind of person that is attracting certain kind of people. And this is what I like. I like this whole concept of like, I become a certain kind of person to attract certain kind of people. And I'm having the best day in my life, but I don't want to search for it. And this is like what also a lot of people say, like you shouldn't force it. You shouldn't search for it. Because imagine you spend like 10 years to just get every day up to find someone. I don't think this is a meaningful life you have. Imagine if you spend so much time on those fucking dating apps. Just, you spend all your time just swiping people photos away. This is such a waste of time, you know? You could spend your time with such a much. Maybe there are hobbies you could do that even would get you together with other people, you know? In my case, I think I was worried a lot because I felt like I draw, but I do that at home. Is there something wrong with me? But then I realized, no, there's nothing wrong with me because I still kind of try to get myself out there more online. But I mean, if I like should work, then I would go out with people, then I would meet new people too. And I'm not someone who's like having a lot of issues with getting to know new people. I'm a really open person. I like to meet new people. And in my case, I just realized, I said it already, I think, there's nothing wrong. I don't do any, I'm a totally right person. There is nothing, like, I'm not the issue why I don't have a partner. Because I think this is what a lot of people start to think when they're not in relationships. They think something is wrong with them, but you have to question yourself. Do you spend your time to the fullest? Do you give already so much you can give that you yourself are not, it's not your fault that you're not in a relationship. Yeah, it's just the circumstances you live in with right now. There's a difference, you know? I mean, if you meet a lot of people, but you are not an open person and you just reject everybody and you're really mean to them, then yes, it is kind of your own fault, you know? But if you are an open person, and I am a totally open person, I don't care so much. And I was like really disillusioned about this. I thought it is my fault that I was not in a relationship. But it's not true. And every time, this is like the thing. So if you are not sure, you can talk with other people about that. And I was talking with everybody I was talking to, that I was like, yo, I'm not in a relationship yet. And I feel like it's my fault and I'm doing something wrong. Everybody was telling me, no, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the situation you're living in right now that makes it hard to get to know new people. But you yourself are a totally capable person of being in a relationship. You are not the kind, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you are totally capable of finding the right people. And they wouldn't say that there are people who are not capable of being in a relationship. There are people who are really having a lot of mental problems, or they're really assholes or something. They don't know how to socialize. But people, like a friend of mine, I told him this, and he has a lot of friends. I don't want to get into too much detail, but he has a lot of friends. And I was telling him, like, I feel like shit because I'm that old, and I'm not that old even, but like, I told him, like, I'm not in a relationship. And he was like really confused, and he was like, nah, I don't see any issue with that. I think you can get into a relationship. It's just your life situation, you know? There is nothing wrong with you. Like, I totally see you in a relationship. So I'm a person who is really capable of being in a relationship, but it just didn't happen. So when you are in that state where you realize, hey, I totally could be in a relationship, like, I mean, I have to learn that, but I think if I find the right person, I could totally be in that. Then there is nothing to worry anymore. It's just that life didn't brought you to the right person yet, and that's it. And if you get on that level, your life becomes so fucking easy, because then you realize you do everything the right way, you put your 100% into it, and life just gives you something else, then that's it. Just see it as a sign. Maybe life wants you to get on other places. There is nothing wrong with that, you know? So yeah, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm feeling really good right now. And I can tell you, when you detach and you just love yourself, and you just feel like you are a cool person, you stop idolizing people so much. And the cool thing about it is, when you meet new people and you don't idolize them anymore, then you actually approach them in a totally another way, and it makes you probably will have better human interaction with other people. But it takes time. It's not everybody gets there, but the advice I could give you is, first, sleep enough, eat healthy food, and work out. That's the basics. If you have that shit together, you are so many levels over other people that you can tell yourself already, I work out, I'm healthier than most people. That is already good feeling, you know? But that's not the only thing. If you are healthy, you're getting much more productive, you're getting much more done in life, and you can figure out what makes you happy. You know, I can talk more about this in another video. And you will get to certain places, and you will find a hobby that you really like and that you really can thrive to, more than one hobby. And you will, and if you all have done this, you found your passion, you are healthy, you having a good time with friends, get therapy if that helps you to get even a better mind. If you all have this together, there is nothing to worry about. And you don't even are in the moment where you have to wait for it. And I'm gonna tell you, I truly believe, like, when people say, like, online, oh, it's your own fault because you're not in a dating app. This is the most stupidest thing ever, because like, my grandparents found each other without a dating app, and they really loved each other. There's so many people who learned to get to know each other without a dating app. So you don't have to force you. I think this is the most stupidest thing, to think that you have to go on a dating app to find someone. That's so fucking stupid. Like, why should you spend your time on something that is so fucking toxic and unhealthy? It's an unhealthy thing to just go over pictures. Like it's so unnatural. Like, you shouldn't worry about. If you want to go there, I don't stopping you from that, but you can meet people in reality. I truly think you can do that, you know? And the first thing you have to do is not finding the right person And I think a lot of people, they are in relationships and they don't even reach that level. You have to get on that level where you feel good about yourself and you don't worry about being in a relationship or not. And that makes you so much more attractive. The chances that you will get into a relationship are much higher, but you don't give a fuck about it anymore. You're just living your best life and you're putting all you can do. When you are a person that puts all they can do into life to have a meaningful life, you are productive, you are a kind person, you are healthy. When you do so many things already, dude, there's nothing to worry about. It's not your fault. And I think people have to realize that it's not even about being in a relationship, it's the feeling of feeling like a failure. And I see that so much on social media, especially I see that more from men than actually from women. And it just hurts me to see. I don't know those guys, but those guys just, I feel sorry for those guys. It's a different situation because guys have it even harder on dating apps. And a guy, of course, has different feelings than a woman in a way. Like, we are humans, we have some things that make us equal, but a guy has a different life perception on life than a woman in a lot of areas, But I still feel sorry for those guys. And I think men tend to be more vocal about it too. I mean, we kind of live in an era where a lot of men are lonely, and women have it usually easier to get into a relationship. But I think this is one thing. I think the other thing is that there's a lot to talk about. I guess men are also more vocal about it. But I don't think it's just men being more vocal. It's because, like, men have it harder in dating, I think, in general. But I just look at that guys, and those guys just talk about how they feel like failures. Like, this is the problem. Like, a lot of people feel like they are a failure in life because they don't have a relationship. And I just feel really bad for those people. Because you are not a failure because you're not in a relationship. That's not true. And if you get to that level where you just see life as a more easier thing and just do the best you can do in life, you shouldn't feel like a failure, because you are not a failure if you didn't get into a relationship. I don't think that is. A relationship is something people can do, and I truly think everybody could find the right person. There are enough people on earth that there are some people for us that we could date, but it could be that we never meet those people. Because we're just not in the life circumstances that make it possible. And that's all right. Understand there's someone for everybody out there. I just think that's solely realistic to say. Because there's so many people out there, but that already makes you feel good, because there is a soulmate out there, but you may not meet them on this earth right now. Maybe you meet them after your life. I don't know what happens after life. But that doesn't even fucking matter. Because be happy that you have a family. Be happy that you have friends. Like, if you look at yourself and you realize, like, I do the best I can do, and there is nothing to worry about, then you're in a much healthier mind. And even if you never reach the love of your life, I think you still can live a totally normal, fulfilling life. I know people who are 60 and they were not in a relationship, but they're super cool people, and I just like them. Or people getting divorced and they live alone. And I don't give a fuck about, like, because be realistic. Look at how many people in the generation of our parents are divorced. I think our generation, especially online, makes such a big deal about dating. when you, in the end, you should be more realistic, and you should be, love is someone that a lot of people find, but not everybody. And sometimes it's better to be single than being in a fucking toxic situation where you have to divorce and you're being around someone you don't want to be around. That's more awful. You're having children and you don't know how to take care of them because you don't have enough money anymore. You don't want to know what those people are going through. So having a single life can be much simpler sometimes, and there is nothing to worry about because you can do so much that can be fun too. And this is the most important thing. I don't tell you, like some people say, like, I'm not gonna be in a relationship, I'm gonna live my life as a single person. I don't relate to those people because I don't make decisions like this. You don't know what happens in life. I think still that love is the best thing you can have in life. Even though you still can love your friends, you can love your family too. It's not just the love of your life. We should put more effort in loving our friends too. But I truly think that if you just do what you can do alone and find meaningful stuff in your life that makes you fulfilled, then you are the best and perfect person to be in a relationship with. And then just see on which place life brings you. And then realize, and this is a realistic thing that a lot of people don't realize. People keep saying they're like, I think a lot of people say, oh, like, I'm really like degenerate, I'm really like a failure. And then you look at them and you are not a failure. You are having your life super together, and you can't, it's not like if you are in a situation where you just don't happen to meet the right people, it's not your fault. I think a lot of people just think the right person just runs into your house. That's not how it works. Some people just don't meet the right one. It's okay. Don't worry about it so much. I think everybody cares. Especially online. People care so much about dating. Like no other generation. People care more about dating than actually getting the right people. I think people don't even date like consciously anymore. They just date, but they're not conscious about actually getting to know each other actually. And yeah. I just wanted to make this video. This comes from a person that is truly happy right now. I feel truly like I'm at the right place in my life at the moment. And I keep doing my manga. And I think there's nothing to worry about. So thank you very much for watching this video. And see you in the next one. Goodbye.